This is Dr. Anita. I'm so glad that you came back to join me today. I wanted us to dig a little deeply into a subject that's probably going to be pretty controversial, and that subject is about greed. Your greed and also the greed of others. These are both limiting behaviors that we have to challenge. You know, I talk all the time about diamonds and how diamonds are made and what they are, but I wanted to go also a little deeper into that. One of the properties of diamonds is that they're exceptionally hard stones. And some of the challenges of our lives are very hard to experience. I tell you that diamonds are produced through time, heat, and pressure. And some of the challenges of our lives go on for a very long time. And they cause great discomfort and put us under seemingly unbearable amounts of pressure. But these are the very experiences which will give you what nothing else can. You can grow and prosper after experiencing one of these life-changing events, or you can allow that thing to destroy you. The choice is truly yours. Let's talk a little bit about greed. I've had the experience in my lifetime to experience people who were greedy. And I'm sure that you say, well, you know, Dr. Anita, there's a lot of different areas of greed, and there's a lot of people maybe that they may want what other people want, kind of the Jones syndrome of wanting what you see the next person has. But this is a little bit deeper than that. These are people who are willing to steal from someone on their deathbed in order to get something that they feel is valuable for themselves. And that is really an interesting experience to have. Knowing that someone targeted another person on their deathbed and put together a scenario which would leave them with the property of another. That's pretty deep. I know it, but I've seen it happen, and I've seen it happen more than once. I have heard of situations like this in the past that took place maybe generations ago, and I've also seen it happen in 2023. So these things have not gone away simply because no one is talking about them. So as I said, some of the challenges of our lives are very hard to experience, and that they can go on for a very long time. If you find yourself in one of these situations, you need to be prepared that you will either release it or you will take the amount of time that it needs to satisfy the situation, to take care of the situation. I want to also give a little bit of understanding as to how someone can be stolen from on their deathbed. It happens because we have not allowed that still small voice to reveal to us the true motivation of some of the people that are around us. And I can hear you saying now, ooh, Dr. Anita, this is harsh. This is not what we normally talk about. And I beg to differ with you. It actually is. When we're dealing with all of those limiting behaviors that have adversely changed our lives, we're talking about issues just as serious as this is. And I continue to say that you have to have a spiritual foundation, something within you that will guide you. And that's on both sides of the coin. Something within you that says, I don't care what type of need I'm experiencing in my life, this is just going a step too far. I'm not willing to lower myself to the point that what I see someone have in their home or in their bank account would cause me to insert myself into their lives in such a way that I come out as a person who benefits from the death of someone else. I've seen it happen. And I've seen it happen on several occasions. There's always two sides to a coin. There's always two sides to a coin. On one side is the person who unwittingly positions themselves in a place where they could be taken advantage of. As I said, sometimes the situation occurs because someone is very vulnerable, extremely vulnerable, and they want to trust a person who may have appeared to be a friend. Many times that person's behavior has been questionable, but because that one who is about to be taken advantage of didn't want to see it, didn't want to know it, or maybe had a little bit of that in them as well, decided that they were going to overlook this telltale behavior and embrace this person as a friend. Use them as a confidant or allow themselves to be taken advantage of because they needed an associate. Now, if you're the person who's perpetrated the theft, I also want to address that. Why would you feel that the universe, God, creator, source is so limited that it can give to someone and not give anything to you? That's the role of redefining the way that we think, the way that we operate through life, the way that we approach wealth and prosperity. That old adage that says that money is the root of all evil, that we have all learned to challenge, is actually the love of money. What a person is willing to do in order to get money, to gain status. And sometimes that can be very, very ugly and very, very hurtful. I've seen and heard of experiences where entire families will group together in order to steal from someone what they knew was not meant for them. And I hear you saying now, well, Dr. Anita, what becomes of these people? Well, I would say that they may feel as though they've benefited for the moment, but I don't believe that good comes from the way that some acquire what they appear to have. I talk a lot about process and how the process of becoming is a process, and that process has stages. Along with that, the stages of process is the training that gives you the ability to hold on to a benefit or blessing that you might get. And many times when that process is circumvented, the benefit is short-lived. We've all heard of people who have been large lottery winners, and they've won millions of dollars. And in a very brief period of time, they've lost those millions of dollars. They're gone. And they're back where they were, only in a worse condition. Because now their friends and their associates are able to see that they were not able to hold on to what could have been a lifelong blessing. When we realize that the process that's needed to make wise decisions can't be rushed, it can't be circumvented, we're able to take our time as we develop the skill set that's needed for wealth and for wealth building, for prosperity. You can look around and maybe you've experienced this same phenomena. But then you come to realize the people who perpetrated this crime against you will never prosper. They'll never hold on to it. And what they were actually aiming at was probably not to hurt you, but to get something that they thought they would never be able to have another way. I remember one of the teachers that I studied under, and the situation came up within this particular faith group of someone who was actively taking advantage of some of the women. And it was an attractive man who had learned how to manipulate others. And I remember it so vividly because it just made perfect sense. The leader of this faith tradition came and told us all about it. And he said that the responses that he got from these women who had been victimized is that he seemed like he was so sincere. And his response to that was he was sincere. He sincerely wanted your money. And sometimes the people that we can be around are sincere. They sincerely want what they believe that you have. And if an opportunity arises, many of them have no compulsion about walking through that door and attempting to steal everything that you have that they know does not belong to them. What I would say to them is that nothing good is going to come of it. You won't have a moment of peace when you acquire what you believe is wealth in this way. It's not going to turn out the way you thought. It's not going to be wonderful. You're not going to prosper because that is not the law of life and of the universe, of God, of spirit, and of the Creator. And not only that, many times these same people who stole will also be stolen from. That scripture that says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." It's coming back. You're going to get it back. And you're going to find out just what it feels like when you do something negative and adverse to someone else. The law of reciprocity, it does come back. You don't have to acquire things in that manner. You can get anything that you want in life. All you have to do is to be willing to hear the Spirit within you and be willing to do what the Spirit says. This is Dr. Anita. I'm a transformational counselor, mentor, chaplain, author, and entrepreneur. And you just heard a diamond moment. Thank you for listening, and join me next time as we redefine the previous steps of your process. Never forget, becoming is a process. A process has stages. One small change changes everything. So invest in yourself. Please visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com for links and additional information. And please rate the podcast if you're enjoying it.